I'm after all your comments, all your knowledge about this type of Ranger. Okay, so we got it in the shed. That's just a task in itself. So anyway, we're going to try and get it up onto the chassis here. Don't really have a plan, just going to kind of wing it. We'll see how we go. Wow, hey, that hurt as I was manoeuvring it just to try and straighten things up and get everything lined up. Bloody engine fell off the bit of metal I had it sitting on with the clamp, and it wedged me hand between the frame and the engine. Nothing to see. Probably a bit of a bruise in the morning. Nothing's broken. Takes a lot to break these bones here. They're Aussie tough, mate. Aussie tough. So, managed to line the front up. So as you can see, I've got the old frame, the old chassis sitting on top of the new chassis. It's took a bit of a beating, I tell you. It's covered in dirt and shite. They're the 4 existing chassis points that I ended up with. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a few tack welds on here, because I don't want it to fall on me again, and it's in position, and then I can just shuffle the engine around. Engine's got to go back about 40 mil, and then I'll worry about getting some tacks on the back after I do some really interesting calculations, probably involving a tape measure, a calculator, some verniers, and 4 cans of beer. Because the best thing to do when you hurt your hand is put a cold beer in it. That's what I reckon. That's what I'm going to do. But today's beer of choice is Cooper's Green Pale Ale. I don't have any of those Bush Chook cans left. So, anyway, it might be a bit early yet. It is only about 1 o'clock. That's all right. Should be fine. I'm an adult, I can do what I like. Alright, I'm going to fire up the welder and get a few tacks on that, and then go from there. Later. So, look, I've got, you know, I'm going cray-cray. I know where they all go. Well, you know, the plugs only fit on one plug, so it's just a matter of routing it through so it's all kind of nice and neat, you know, and then go from there. we have it. Hopefully all the clips are back on. Apart from there's one down here which I don't know where it goes. I might have to get the torch just to shine it in there. Can't see it, it's a bit dark. Anyway, that's it. I'm going to call it a day. I'm going to go and rest my little paw. Anyway, I'll see you next time round. Okay, so I was just out here for a few hours. I didn't get it on camera because it was all just very fiddly and a little bit time consuming. So all I've done is things like I've made a few little, oh, it's dark in this shed, isn't it? Really need some lighting. A few little brackets here, and this steel tube will get welded in to hold the air box. It's not really focusing. It's too dark. I've hooked up the brake line, so I need to get some brake fluid in there. I've put all the cables and linkages back together so everything works now. I actually had it fired up last night, so it runs, so that's good. I've got the front engine mount, which I'm going to weld up here. So it's upside down. I've just got it clamped to the bench. So I'll weld that in, weld this up here, and then weld that in there. And then I've taken off the lower suspension arms to try and get these bushes out. Right. Whoop. Yeah, but they've been in for so long, so I might just heat that up and melt them out, and then get some new ones and put in there. And then I've just got to make a bracket, some brackets to bolt the front differential to. A couple little brackets for the seat, and then I can start working on the like the sides, like the, I suppose you call it the footwell, where your feet go. And I need to make a little U-shaped tunnel to run the drive shaft, and I'll hide the wiring as well in there. Just thought I'd try and loosen the little bleed screws on the brake calipers, because I actually disconnected the brake line when I split it in half to bring the back half in. And I've just put the little 1/4-inch spanner onto the bleed nipple, and it just snapped it off. So now I have half stuck in the caliper and half in my hand. You know that old saying, you're one snapped bolt away from 3 hours of pain? Yeah. So I think I'm just going to buy a new caliper, and probably have to buy one for the other side too, because it seems that the back bleed nipples are 1/4-inch fittings, 1/4-inch, and the front bleed nipples are bigger, like 5/16 or 8mm. There goes that. So what I'm going to do now, as I said, I'm just going to get a bit of a time lapse going of me. Sorry, my dog distracted me. He's just being a twit. A bit of a time lapse going of me welding these little tabs and brackets and bits and pieces on here. So I'm going to put the tunes on. Choice of tunes today is a bit of old school Nirvana. So Unplugged, I think it is, like the MTV Unplugged Nirvana album. Really good album. So put that on. I will crank up the generator, and I just got to go see my dog for a minute. He's being silly. Anyway, stay tuned. Exactly what I just tried to avoid. just goes to show you. Must have had a bit of fuel that I didn't see dripped out of the line when I disconnected the fuel tank. I won't lie to you, it got the ticker going. That could have been quite an interesting afternoon for me. Not to mention explaining it to the wife. And I burnt the shed down. Almost burned our house down a couple of years ago. That didn't go down well either. So what I've done is I've just got some water, some rags, and a little bit of detergent, and mopped up the ground, given it a good clean. And I've got a fire blanket on hand, which is just sitting on top of the welder. Let's start again. Alright, that's it. I just need to get a few measurements of that lower engine mount bracket. It's a little bit fiddly to get in there, so I'll do that. No more fires, that's alright. Alright, so what I've got here is I've got more fire. Front suspension arms, the lower arms off the front. I can't get the bloody bushes out because they've been in, these are since brand new, and they've just fully rusted, seized, whatever in there. So my plan, I don't have a press or anything, my plan is to get fire in here, not over there, and heat it up and try and melt the rubber, and hopefully it'll push out. And that went exactly to plan. So now I can just clean them up on the inside there. That won't be that bad. I can do that with maybe like a wire brush or something. Let's try the other one. Not quite yet. Yeah. Burn, baby, burn. Well, that's a lot better than having them in. I can clean that up. Might be a little bit fiddly, but that'll be alright. I'm not going to replace them with the factory type. I'm just going to get some Red Ranger Nolithane. Nolithane website has a pretty extensive size, bush size search. Can't say that too fast. So you just type in the measurements that you want. So I'll just type in the OD of the bush, which, just judging by the look of it, is probably, that's probably 1 inch tube with a whatever 1.6 wall maybe. I'll measure it, I'll clean it up and measure it with the verniers, so probably something around 23 mil OD with a 12 mil hole. I'll go and I'll just put a 12 mil bolt straight through it. May even weld a little nut onto each one of them and drill a hole through it and put a grease nipple in there, just so I can keep a bit of grease easily in there. That's it. Alright, I'm just going to have a go of cleaning this up with a little wire brush. Got to find, one somewhere. I don't know if I've got like a little round bristle wire brush somewhere, but anyway. So, and that's what we're left with. Just a melted rubber bush with a crush tube and a rusted bolt in there. Right, so I did a little bit more burning with the little flame torch here. And it's actually looking pretty good. I got virtually all the rubber out. All I can see in there now is just a little bit of corrosion. So I'm just going to get just a Dremel with a little sanding pad on it and basically just give it a little clean up. I think that'll be fine. Yeah, I think that's good. So if I get my special little I must have put the verniers away back in their little box so they don't get ruined. Anyway, I'll measure this and I'll let you know what measurement I come up with. Now I don't know if that's going to be exactly what brand new factory measurement is, just because it does look a little bit corroded in there, so I probably can't get a true measurement, but within half a mil it's going to be fine. Within a mil, that'll be great. Okay, so I just got the little verniers here, turn it on, zero it out. Let's have a look here. I work in millimetres, by the way. So that is 20.96. So pretty much 21. 21 on the dot. Yep, 21.02. That's good. What's that in? Okay, so I've just switched it to inches. And it's telling me it's 0.8175. What does that even mean? 0.8175. Is that like 80.8 1 of an inch and 75 thousandths. Yes, I'll just turn it around. Can you somehow see that? Not focusing that well. 81.75. And then if we go to the fraction, 13, oh, sorry, the light's reflecting. It says 13 over 16. Then we go to metric, 20.76. Okay, that's what we'll run with. We'll go 20. I'll look for a bush that is between 20 mil and 21 mil on the OD with around at least a 10 mil hole. And I'll be able to find one, I reckon. So, just got to do the other suspension arm. Same thing. I couldn't get the castle nut off the other one. It's corroded on there and I don't want to snap it like I've already snapped that bloody bleed nipple. That's bad. So I might just melt those ones out down there and clean them out down there, ready to go back on. That's it. I'm probably going to have a little tidy up in here and just go over what I've done today and take the camera into the wife and surprise the heck out of her when she's going through it, and all of a sudden there's like me going, "Ah!" and there's a fire. Could have been worse. Alright, I'm looking so forward to this. This is going to be great. This has been a great little project. It has. Alright, if you like what you see and you want to see more, or you want to see something in particular about what I've done as part of the framework, or I've got a few photos of random stuff I can probably share. I'd love to hear your comments, and if you think you might know someone that's interested in this, please share it with them. Subscribe it, like it, ring the bell. Subscribe it? That didn't sound right. Subscribe, ring the bell, like, share. So, as you know, I'm trying to rebuild this chassis of this Polaris Ranger. Needed a few bits and pieces for it. So, one of the things I needed was some new front suspension bushes. Now, I didn't go with the Polaris ones. I went with Nolithane. Now, what I've got here is a Nolithane bush kit. These are actually out of the leaf springs of a Ford Capri. So that's the number, 47024, that I've used. So on the Nolithane website, they have a bush size search. So you just type in your basic parameters of what you want, what sort of bush you want. In this case, I'll just get one out. Oh, look at that, it even comes with a sticker. Haha, bargain. Now I wanted a bush that was that shape. So I just typed in, selected the OD of the bush, and I think from memory this was about 21 millimeters. So I just typed in 21 millimeters and it brings up every bush, probably 10 sizes either side of that one measurement. And they go, you know, 21, 21.8, you know, they're not just in a set millimeter module, they're quite all over the show. So I found one, quite cheap, $29 free delivery per packet. I needed 2 packets. So they just basically, I had to burn, let me just get this old one. I had to burn the old one out because they'd been in since new and they were so rusted and seized, it was ridiculous. So I just got the little blowtorch and burnt it out. These ones do have a crush tube, so they have a bolt, a crush tube, and then the bush. So I'm just going bush, no crush tube. So they fit in there. They're quite a nice little snug fit as you want. And that hole there is actually, on the website it said 10.2 millimeters maybe. So I'm just going to use a 10mm bolt, and you'll notice that I have pre-cut them in an earlier episode, so they will be my suspension arm mounts. I might actually even put one like that and one like that, possibly. I'll see what it ends up looking like down there. But they get welded to the chassis. Bolt goes through the middle. Hang on, I've only got 2 hands. Sometimes I wish I had 4 arms, I tell you. So they'll get welded to the chassis, and then I've got more that go on here. And that's my pivot. So I'm looking at doing that soon, because once I've got the suspension arms reattached, I just need to make a little plate of steel about that big to weld in there to mount the front diff to, and then I should be able to drive it. Like, it's not fully welded yet, but I should be able to at least manoeuvre it around the shed to get a bit more access on the tight side over there. I kind of underestimated that when I started building it here, but I needed my little block and tackle thing, which only kind of operates in this area here. So we'll do that. So I put the radiator on, and then, now I do have the bonnet, sorry, I should say. I do have the bonnet for it, but it's all cracked and smashed. So I'm probably going to get some 25mm round tube and bend up I don't know, I'm in 2 minds yet. I still don't know what to do. Like, I did talk about getting a bonnet and some fenders, guards, off a small type car, something, I don't know, just like a little car, and kind of putting the bonnet on and then cutting the fenders to kind of have a random shape to kind of suit, and then maybe put that grille on and then make a little custom bumper for it. I think that would look freaking sick. But I just don't know what sort of car to get it off. I might have to just measure the width of this and just look around, try and find a, you know, I think like imagine like an Impreza, Subaru Impreza bonnet with the big scoop on it, with the Impreza guards that are kind of pumped a bit on the wheel arches coming around to the Impreza grille, and then you could see this through the front, and it's a radiator, but it might be able to, you know, palm off as a front mount intercooler to the unknowing. And then a bit of a custom little bumper with a little one of those little ATV winches in it, maybe like a 5,000 pound 12 volt electric winch in a little tube bumper down here. That would look awesome. And then get some different rims. I'm not sure what brand or whatever. If you know, drop a comment of where in Perth to get some. But like a bigger offset, so they kind of sit a bit wider. And then eventually upgrade to slightly larger tyres. I think these are 25 inch, maybe go to like say some 26 or 27 inch tyres. I'm not sure how much strain that'll put on the drive line, because I've never owned one of these before. So I see a lot of Polarises of all different sorts that have way out mods done to them. So if you reckon I could run some say 26 inch tyres, like Bear Claws or something equivalent on here, let me know. I'd love to know your thoughts. If you've got one and you've got them on it, please let me know what's going on. And that's it. Alright, I'm going to hang up now. I'm after all your comments, all your knowledge about this type of Ranger. I know very little about it, not having ever had one. So drop some comments. Ranger, I love it. I can't wait to get out there. I've always wanted one. We've got one. It's taken some work, man. Woo! But we got there. Later.